In this tutorial, we'll learn how to defocus the background or the foreground objects separately in an animation, or how to change the intensity of the defocus using Blender Compositor. So we can take this scene as an example. We have only created these models for the table and the chairs. The background scene is basically created with an HDRI image which is applied in the world background. Now let's say we want to defocus the foreground objects or the background scene. So in the Render Properties tab, we have to first scroll down to the section called Film and enable the transparent option. It will remove our background, but no worries, we'll bring it back using the compositor. So go to Compositor and create a new compositor node tree. If you're using an older version of Blender, you have to enable the Use Nodes option from here. In order to bring back our world background, we need to have it in the render result, but currently we don't see an environment socket in this render layer node. So go to the View Layers tab on this side, and then under Passes, scroll down to the Light section. As soon as we enable the environment pass from here, we can see that a new socket is created for the environment. Let's duplicate this render layer for simplicity, but if you prefer, you can use a single render layer as well. Now go to the Add menu, and from the Color group, we have to add an alpha over node to combine the foreground and the background. So the environment output should go to the background socket, and the actual render output, which is transparent, should go to the foreground. Then in order to defocus the foreground, we need a defocus node, so go to the Add menu, and under Filter, under Blur, let's add a defocus node and place it right after the render layer. Then enable the Z buffer option in this node, and we can control the amount of blur using this max field. Let's say we go with 8 for medium blur. Now if we render this, we'll get an output where the foreground is out of focus, but the background is prominent. If we want to defocus the background, we have to simply duplicate the defocus node here. Then we'll change the defocus amount to 0 for the foreground. If we now render this scene with only this node active, we'll get the opposite result, where only the background is defocused. We can even keyframe and animate this field to create a dynamic focus or defocus effect. Similarly for this scene, we have created the star field using a procedural shader for the world background. The tutorial link is in the video description. We can now create a focus-defocus effect for the background and the foreground, selectively, using the same setup we have just discussed. It can create a highly impressive and professional output for any composition. So I hope you like this tutorial. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel.